Hey, Star Wars fans and Rule of the Galaxy fans, it is a special show tonight. A special show with friends of Rule of the Galaxy, friends in the Star Wars community, friends of ICCC or ICC Con, as Michael Havens prefers, but I'm lazy and I say it the other way. This is Joe in the pilot seat here at Rule of the Galaxy. We are doing chapter 208 of this fun loving Star Wars show. And boy, do we have some juicy tidbits to talk about tonight as we prepare for the ICC Con next week in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, near Nashville, Tennessee. I will start off by just quickly going around the room to our regular co-host, and then I'll hop right into our guest for this evening into the Hyperspace Heroes podcast. But first, we'll start off with my cousin, your friend, Alfie Molinaro.
Hey, how we doing tonight? Man, I cannot wait to get into the topics. Another solid night of T-ball. Just ready to go. Can't wait for ICCC next week.
You got it. Well, I tell you what, I had the pleasure of going and watching. For those of you who watch the show or listen to the show from time to time, you know Miss Azalea, Alfie's youngest daughter, who's a big fan of the show. She runs her own air quote podcast to mimic her father and her
does.
cousin here. And I got a chance to go see her play the other night on the Cubs. That was a lot of fun. And I was able to give Alfie a birthday gift because young Mr. Alfie, I don't even know how old you turned.
46.
46.
Yes.
Same age as Star Wars, correct?
Yes.
Same age
We're
as Star
just like
Wars.
a week apart, I think.
There you go.
Nice.
So Alfie's birthday was this week, so happy birthday again, Alfie.
Thank you.
And yeah, I know you're chomping at the bit to hit some of these topics. D-Doc, thanks for throwing together the live show again. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Is that like a forced dyad? If Alfie was born like at the same time as Star Wars, is that a dyad, Alfie?
It's pretty close. I could be the chosen one. I'm not real sure.
Alfie was born and George Lucas just was like, Star Wars.
Pretty much that's what it was. I was old, I was 6, so I was like, oh, this cool movie, and then boom, there's Alfie right there, just showing up at the same time.
Yep.
So
yeah, but I'm doing good. I also was at baseball tonight, and it was one of those nights where my kid was just deciding to just kick the dirt and hardly pay attention. And like, is there anything more cringe than when you're watching a baseball game and it's like pretty quiet and you just want to tell your kid, stop kicking the dirt, pay attention, you know what I mean? But you get through it, you sit there and you cringe, and then
being the old man of the Rule of the Galaxy crew, and I've done all these things you're doing right now, I will tell you, sometimes it's best to just sit back, relax, and say, does this even really matter in the big scheme of things?
That's true.
I mean, if he was on like the Philadelphia Phillies and he's kicking the dirt out there, maybe you've got some complaints, but at 5, it's not a big deal. I tell you though, it never stops. I will say this. My daughter, I was a high school softball coach for a handful of years. She was my assistant coach. I retired from that. She, after playing high school ball, college ball, became my assistant. And then when I left, she became the head coach of the team. But tonight was her last game coaching, because she's due with her first child this fall and she's going to take some time off. So my wife and I still drove a half an hour away to go watch her coach her last game. And so it just never ends. She's 26 years old and we're still there, even though she's just coaching the team. So you got a long haul in front of you, D-Doc and Alfie. So now to our group of guests here, I don't remember, and I apologize, I don't know where you guys are on all kids, grandkids, everything, which, by the way, I have my first one already. My second one, like I said, is due in October, November. But we'll turn the page to the Hyperspace Heroes podcast here. We'll start off with the Brown Leader. Brown Leader, welcome to the show. And one question I'll ask you guys, because we met at ICCC and because we've communicated stuff since then, is there any way for us to get call signs in the group when you guys have us on or anything like that?
Well, considering this is a joint episode that we're going to both post, I do have some announcements to make at the end of the episode.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So how are you doing, Aaron?
I'm great. And I have one grandchild myself. And
okay.
So doing the, I think 8 years old now, I believe, and busy with soccer. So Saturday mornings are on the pitch at, unfortunately, at that age, it's the 9 o'clock slot.
Mm.
So, and they live about 45 minutes away. So it's driving that. Yeah. Wet grass and 9 o'clock in the morning. So,
Yeah.
but
Coffee
yeah, no,
becomes your best friend at that time. Yeah.
right, exactly. So, but no, I've been listening to you guys ever since we kind of made contact at ICCC last year, and you've got me saying that now. I say ICCC all the time. If not, then I'm like ICCC, and and lose track. But yeah, no, it's been great, D-Doc. It's finally nice to be on with you. Great I follow all your stuff on the plumbing, and so maybe we'll get a segment of plumber talk finally.
I'm in on that. I'm all in on that.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, no, we've been looking forward to this episode, and we're also looking forward to meeting up with you guys down next week.
You got it. I am as well. So, hey, Scruffy, my man, how you doing with the great collection there behind you, all lit up?
Hey, thank you. Doing good. And since we're on a theme here, I do have one grand puppy.
Okay.
I have no grandkids, but one grand puppy. It's a start.
It is a start. Okay. That's good to hear. Everything going all right in your world?
Absolutely. Just totally excited for ICCC. You guys are getting me into that habit now.
I wonder if Michael's going to penalize us at any time if we keep.
I thought it was called that.
No,
because you always said it.
No, ICCC.
ICCC or ICC Con.
ICC Con. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I just assumed that you always called it that from the beginning. I thought that's what it was called.
I'm lazy. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Me too. No, just super excited. Can't wait to start vacation here in a couple days. It's amazing the amount of things you suddenly have to do 48 hours before you go to punch out for vacation.
Yeah. They find you and they track you down before that happens. I get it.
Oh, I am permanently attached to my phone. Yeah, they'll find me.
Yeah, that's what happens as you get older, and now that we've connected with everyone in the world. So I hate it for you, but I hope you get to enjoy it. So.
Oh, absolutely.
DB, I love it. I want to call you Droid Bait, but everybody calls you DB, so I'm just going to stick with DB. How are you
that's
doing,
that's because we're lazy and we don't want to say Droid Bait all the time.
Even off air when we're at work, Brown Leader will call me DB and I respond to it. So it's pretty sad.
That's true.
And you guys do all work together, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
My wife would think, and she'll tell you if she's in the other room, probably listening right now, but she'll tell you that you would think that me and Alfie and D-Doc work together because the phones are buzzing at all times of the day, and she's like, enough, you guys talk enough. You're not women. Come on, women are supposed to talk like this, and I get it because we do. We chat like we're high school girls all the time, and it's a problem. But we're coping.
That is one of the reasons we started the podcast, is because we were spending too much time at work talking nerdy stuff. So Brown Leader came up with this concept, and here we are, a couple years later. And if I'm going to jump into the theme, I have a 4-year-old. Well, he's almost 4-year-old grandson, and we have our second on the way later this summer as well. So, and we still have a 12-year-old at home that we go to tennis matches, soccer matches, cheer competitions. Right now, we literally have something 6 days a week.
Yep.
So, guys, I understand, going to these games, but you got to do it.
You do. And these guys know, and you guys have heard, I mean, my life between work, between grandkid, between kids, just everything has been hectic. So these guys have been doing a great job covering my behind on all this. And I can't thank them enough to just really help and lead the show. I joked recently with Scott Rifa, and I said, the Rolling Stones had one lead guy, so you had to rely on Mick. And if Mick wasn't there, the band fell apart. I feel like we've got 4 lead guys like the Beatles. Any of them could take the head of the song and go with it. So I feel really lucky to have that. But you guys are celebrating your 50th show as Hyperspace Heroes. Is that right? And you did 25 before as the Alderaan a-hole.
Yeah. So we're quickly approaching 50.
Okay,
This will be 47 for us. So it's just around the corner for us. But yeah, so we've got, as we call it on the so we all know Rural Farm Boy, and he was our first guest. So he is Brown 5 and call sign Spotchka, and because he's always talking about his Spotchka recipes. So we call it the Spotchka timeline. We're fast approaching 75, but yeah, under the HHP banner, this will be 47 for us. So
Okay. Well, hey, it's they've told me that once you get past like 20, if you get past 20, you're gonna stick around for a while. Most podcasts make it less than 20 and then fade away. And I thought we were destined for that because we did, I want to say 7 or 8, and then we had to take a break because Joey left the show. And then next thing you know, we started back up and we haven't looked back since. So
yeah, and congratulations on beating 200. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. We just sat back on 200th episode and let Steve Glosson do all the work.
I know. I listened.
So again, thank you guys. Welcome aboard. Well, it looks like we have another guest coming on, so I'm really excited to have him back with us, who just is surprising us and showing up. Brent, can you hear us? Are you there? We'll catch him in a minute. Hey, you guys, there were a couple topics before we get into ICCC and all those kind of things. There were a couple topics that I did want to hit that kind of hit close to home on me. Listen to Freddie Prinze Jr. talk about walking away from Star Wars and Kanan and that role. Kanan's one of my favorite Star Wars guys. I didn't know I was going to love Rebels. I fell in love with Rebels. I fell in love with the storyline and everything that was going on there. He kind of was sticking to two Star Wars people a little bit and wasn't really too hip. He was more promoting Star Trek, from what he was saying than Star Wars. Does anybody have any thoughts on Freddie Prinze, who I thought we were going to get to meet, who just recently had to bail? And I'm wondering, did he bail because of the work, or did he bail because this is how he truly feels about Star Wars? So anyone around the room? Go ahead, D-Doc.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I brought it up actually when we were talking to Headless Ned Stark last week, that I saw his rant, where he was talking about how he knows the Force more than anybody, and I was taught the Force by George Lucas, and you guys, all these grown men out there just care about Star Wars. It's for kids. Grow up, bro. And then I'm just like, you're dead to me after watching that interview. I can still love his voice as a voice actor. You know what I mean? But to me, it just comes off as like speaking down to people. And to me, that's kind of disrespectful to your fans and everything. It's like, there's people who are huge fans of him for doing that. And honestly, it's just, I don't know. I just think it's disrespectful and not very thoughtful, in my opinion, so whatever.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I agree with you, D-Doc. I'm a little disappointed in that. I was really looking forward to the whole Rebels cast getting all the autographs. But that just kind of, and I love Rebels. I didn't think I would like it. I truly love the series, but I'm just a little disappointed in that, to say the least. And I do think that the Star Wars thing had something to do with him canceling, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Hi, Brent.
Hello.
Hey, Brent.
How are you?
Did Eeyore show up? Oh, goodness. How much, man? We just got rolling, so nothing fantabulous has happened. We're just rocking and rolling here.
I figured that if I showed up a few minutes late, we would be still in the pre-production, because usually D-Doc shows up.
Oh, shots fired.
So I
was in the studio, Brent. I was ready to roll, man. I was ready to roll.
Oh,
AKA, I ran down here as quick as I could to get the link together about 10 minutes before the show.
No worries. I was rolling solo and had to get kids in bed. And then when you put me in the chat first, so those that are watching on YouTube saw my face show up, and then I went to no camera. My wife decided to call me at that exact time that you put me into the show.
So, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're glad you're here. The only thing we really discussed was our family lives and how we chase kids around at sports things. So you're good. And then we
Hey, I heard
briefly touch on
competition.
Kanan.
I heard competition cheer, and I commiserate with you, my friend. My daughter is 3-4 years in, and yeah, that is a culture that unlike any other.
You are not wrong.
So I don't know. I think you might be Ohio area, right?
Michigan.
Damn
Northern
it.
Michigan.
Okay. So anyway, we have a group of dads that decide there's one group of dads that goes to every competition that my daughter's in because they're all kind of regional. They rock the pink mohawk. The dads will wear a pink mohawk and they wear pink leopard print outfits while they carry around the boom boxes and parade their daughters into the competition.
Oh, I hope my daughter's not listening or I'm going to be doing this. Except there's no mohawk going on here.
It's you can tell these are not real mohawk. They purchased those pink 2-foot tall faux hawks. Oh yeah, they're like 2-foot tall faux hawks with pink.
Well,
yeah.
I cannot wait to call your daughter.
Oh, she's probably listening. I gave her the link. She's probably actually watching. So
yes.
But we will be in Columbus, Ohio, at the end of June for the big nationals competition. So maybe I'll see you there, Brent.
No, our season is over. They're also none too amazing. So the
it's all
goal,
about the passion. It's all about the love.
It is. It really is, and the faces that they make when they're cheering. Right. I mean, it's like just right. You're laughing because you've seen them.
Oh yes.
So yeah, but so in Indiana, or at least the gym that we go to, their big thing is to get a bid to go down to Disney during spring break time frame. They call it Summit.
Oh yeah, my daughter watches that on ESPN. The Ocho or whatever.
The Ocho.
If it's almost a sport, it's on the Ocho.
Yeah, that is exactly correct. So, anyways, I mean, we
to it.
Are we doing cheerleading podcasting tonight or not? Sorry,
no.
Took us down the rabbit hole, but I commiserate with you, my friend.
We gave all the time we're allotted for cheerleading discussion. So
okay.
I'm glad that it's not something I ever had to get into. I'm just going to hit some bullet points. You guys, look, we've got a full cast and crew here. Anybody who wants to chime in on any topic I hit, just point at me. We'll go to you. Mando season 3 getting a gallery in June. I'm excited about that because I think those are some of the best parts of Mando is getting the gallery and the behind the scenes and the all that kind of stuff. Anybody with any thoughts on a gallery for Mando season 3? Go ahead, Brown Leader.
So do we know though if it's going to be they're going to cheap out like they did on season 2, or are they going to give us the full experience like in season 1? Season 1 doing one per chapter was phenomenal. It was great. And yes, there were some good things in season 2. There was some really good inside information, but I think they need to spend a little more time breaking it down.
I definitely like the show by show breakdown better than the here's the one, that's all you get. Thanks for showing up. It was great. Don't get me wrong. Seeing all the behind the scenes stuff with Luke was great, but it would have been really nice to see a little bit more.
Well, I think you guys need it too. So Alfie can add some more chapters to the book of Alfie and fill in some more pages, right?
We can work on that. All I see right now is it's just saying making of. It does not say a season or an episode. That'd be June 28th.
Well, at least we know we have stuff coming up on the calendar, right? We've got that. We've got Ahsoka in August. We've got Skeleton Crew by the end of the year, from what I'm hearing. So at least we've got things on the calendar and on the agenda. And while we're throwing out things about Disney Plus, am I reading Andy Serkis making some comments about possible Andor season 2?
He was seen on the set.
Okay.
But then again, it's Andy Serkis, so what is he playing? Could be anything. He did say in an interview, and I don't have it in front of me, that whatever his character's name did not die.
Okay.
And that it's very lonely on that planet now.
Well, he did say he couldn't swim. He didn't say he couldn't fly.
Well, maybe he got his water wings on. Got his
There you go.
He's floated to shore.
Okay. Either way, look, I think he was one of the best parts of that show. I mean, the intensity that he brought to it, the character he played was really great, and I liked Andor. So if he's going to be in it and it makes sense for him to be in it, I'm all for it. So
It's
go ahead,
got to
Brent.
make sense.
Yeah, got to make sense. It cannot be Snoke. I'm just going to leave it at that. Go ahead, Brent.
So are we gambling on when it's going to come out because of Tony Gilroy backing out?
Yeah, he had to stop because they won't allow him to make changes to the script now
Right.
that the Writers Guild strike is on, correct?
Yeah, he got called out for being a scab.
Right. So I didn't read the whole story, but I assumed it was because he's a writer and he wanted to show some solidarity. It also gives him an indirect way to say, well, I didn't have a hand in it if it's crap.
Yeah, he tried at first to say that he was just producing and doing behind the scenes stuff, and then other people in the industry called him out and said, dude, you wrote all the episodes, so there's no way that you're going to be able to refrain from that. So either show solidarity with the guild or don't. You can just say that you're a scab.
The guild.
Yeah, you know, it's so weird. When I think of unions, like my dad worked in a trucking company when I was a little kid, and we actually had to go with him one night and sit around one of those pits with the fire.
Yeah,
and
they got
stand
paid
outside.
to do it.
Yeah, and that's what they did. They sat there, kept warm around that, and yelled at the scabs as they came along. So that's emblazed into my head, right? That I remember seeing that. I don't think the Writers Guild's doing that same kind of strike.
Oh, they are. They're picketing.
Well, I
They
mean,
are-
but are they really like sitting there hoping?
They're not
on
blocking
fire.
any trucks with baseball bats.
Yeah, they're not.
I mean,
they're not taking my
you're going-
kneecaps.
Oh, I forgot. You were part of the not John Gotti. What's his name? What's the guy that died and they buried him in the
Jimmy Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa? I didn't know you were part of the Jimmy Hoffa Teamsters. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
like
was
I
a
didn't know your
I
dad
was
was.
a
Teamster for-
teamster. Yeah.
10 years. I'm I'm not anymore because I actually am a scab, but I was a steel worker for 15.
Oh God.
But no, they're picketing. They literally
Yes, they
are
are.
picketing in front of the places. They're holding their placards, making their chants. One of the ones, and it looked like John Krasinski, but I don't think it is. But it was an actor who said, like, he was carrying a sign that said, "I'm an actor. I literally don't know what to say," which I thought
Yes.
was a clever picket sign because he was trying to show support for the writers. But he's like, "Yeah, I'm an actor. I literally have nothing to say right now." So
I saw that.
I love
yeah.
it. I like it.
So
go ahead.
any news on the Acolyte because of this? Because where are they at in the whole situation?
They
Because
didn't make it.
what's that? They did not make it, so they're shut
No.
down a little bit,
Yes.
waiting on scripts.
Mm-hmm.
That is a bummer.
And
Yeah.
so Andor's had some they had to move production of Homeboy's Palace from Saw Gerrera's hideout because of weather and
dangerous.
weather and flooding and stuff. So there's been some production issues on Andor. So we'll
Between-
probably get 2025. There we go.
Between weather, between COVID, and now strikes, it's almost like they don't want Star Wars things to be made.
It's just Star Wars. There's
Keno
nothing else
Lloyd
being
will-
affected.
He would not like to hear that area's flooding. You know what I was thinking? Maybe Neville Longbottom showed up and gave him some gillyweed, and then he
There
grew
we
some
go.
gills, and then he could swim. There you go.
And there we
Cross
go. We're
worlds.
crossing the fandom. Hey,
Try
this
gillyweed.
this is one that I would really like feedback from everybody. We got 7 of us here.
Turned him into
Um,
a shark. That's
Yeah.
it.
So we had Carrie Fisher get her star on the Walk of Fame. Billy Lord, Mark Hamill were both there. I think I was surprised she didn't have that already. I would have thought with the family heritage she came from and the movie she was
Yeah.
in that she would be in there. But I wanted to ask you guys, one, if you want to make any comments on Carrie Fisher, let's go around the room and do that. But 2, one thing I was going to ask you is outside of Star Wars, your favorite thing that Carrie Fisher did, movie, TV show, what have you. So, Brown Leader, I'm going to start with you because you put your hand up, whether you wanted to answer it or not.
I did. So,
Okay.
favorite thing. So, favorite thing she did outside of Star Wars. Well, I guess you'll have to tell me if this might be it's probably Star Wars adjacent. So which would be Fanboys, when she played the Doctor in Fanboys.
Oh my god, yeah.
That was good. That was really good.
If that doesn't count, then
no, it doesn't count.
Okay.
Doesn't count. Doesn't count. She wasn't playing Princess Leia. She was playing Carrie Fisher as a doctor. So we're good with that. I like that.
Good.
Who else? Go runner. Alfie.
I would say the Blues Brothers, or then her cameo in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Okay, I like that. I'm
you didn't see that movie?
I couldn't get past the first 10 minutes with Jay doing the mother. I couldn't get past it, and I thought it was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen.
Well, but I thought, well, never mind.
Okay, Brent,
you know what you know the scene that I'm talking about.
I would just really think it being the third movie, you would be like prepared for that. But
I
maybe
didn't watch
you didn't see.
I'm not like a big Kevin Smith fan.
Okay,
yeah, it's the age difference,
and he's not a big Kevin Smith anymore. So
no, he's not funny anymore either. So
I mean, I watched what was it? I watched Dogma. I did enjoy Dogma, and I watched what was it? The dating one.
Mallrats?
No, it wasn't Mallrats. There was one that Chasing Amy. Chasing Amy. That one.
Okay.
Those are the two that I saw of Kevin Smith.
Well, now that we're doing the Kevin Smith podcast, give me something Carrie Fisher you liked outside of Star Wars.
I don't have anything. I don't know what she was in. Like everything that you have said has been a complete shock to me.
Scruffy, I'm going to go to you. I bet you're sitting on something here, right here. Go, hit me with something.
I am. Cameo appearance in The Big Bang Theory. Absolutely love that piece.
Okay.
But the other movie I absolutely loved her in, The Burbs.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Movie, yes.
The crows are too big for the bird feeder.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh. D-Doc, how about you? Have you seen Carrie Fisher in anything outside of Star Wars movies?
The only thing I really know is the Blues Brothers, honestly. It's like I've never really sought out. I mean, I've seen Fanboys as well, but I mean, she's pretty hilarious in the Blues Brothers. I mean, that's one of the best scenes when Belushi is saying, I got a flat tire.
It was a plague. It was locust. You got to believe me.
DB, how about you? Bring us some heat here. What do we got that Carrie Fisher related?
Sorry, Brent, I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. It's an acquired taste. It's an acquired taste. It really is. But yeah, Jay and Silent Bob. Oh my God, the 2 minutes she's in that movie are hilarious. But she did a live one-woman show, Wishful Drinking, based on her book. It was on HBO or something, 10 or 15 years ago, and that's hilarious. If you ever get a chance to watch it.
I need to check that one out. I've not seen that. But
check it out.
I'm sure it's pretty funny. So I, as I usually do, over research and over prepare. One of my very favorites, When Harry Met Sally.
I knew you were going to say that one. That's why I didn't say it.
That one right there, just fantastic movie. And she plays the role so well. Excuse me. Let's see here what I have. Oh, The Man with One Red Shoe. The Man with One Red Shoe. Has anyone seen that one? With Tom Hanks?
Time ago.
Tom Hanks?
Jim Belushi.
Long time ago.
I don't hardly remember it.
Her and Jim Belushi do Tarzan.
D-Doc,
and
help
Jane.
me out here. D-Doc, help me out here. Have you even heard of that movie?
No.
Thank God I'm not the only one. Thank God I'm not the only one.
Okay, well, Brent, you think that's bad. Here we go. You ready? She's been in 25 episodes of Family Guy. She was in a few episodes of Smallville, the Superman show. For those of you who are, D-Doc, you're definitely not old enough to remember this. She tried out to be a Playboy bunny on Laverne and Shirley with Laverne and in front of Hugh Hefner. And she beat out Laverne for the spot as a Playboy bunny.
Do you think I didn't know anyone who knew where the hidden stash was when I was growing up? Man, I know what Playboy is.
Well, she wasn't in Playboy.
Did you know that Leia, that Carrie Fisher was in a TV show being a bunny?
No, I did not. No,
Okay.
I had no clue. But I am familiar with Playboy, if that's what you meant. I know.
So
what that is.
no.
But D-Doc, by the way, I know none of this. I just want you to like.
I have
None.
one more that's
Go
really
for it.
one of my favorites. It's
Go for the deep cut.
stupid
Go for the deep cut.
Under the Rainbow with Chevy Chase. And it was filled with small people who also played in Star Wars movies as Ewoks and Jawas and everything else. Kenny Baker was in it. It was full of, I'll say small people, little people, and it's Under the Rainbow, kind of a takeoff of Wizard of Oz, but in a very weird, contorted, 1980 way.
Very weird.
So, yeah, there we go. I thought bring a little Carrie Fisher to the show tonight. So in honor of her getting her star.
And you got to get the honorable mention in there. Mother Superior in Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
Oh, I forgot she was in that.
Yes. Wow. Still shaking his head.
I'm sorry, Brent.
I mean, it seems like it sounds like I don't care. Like honestly, I never sought out snuck in. I never sought out Carrie Fisher for anything. Okay. I know movies. I know TV. None of this. Nope.
Hey,
not even the Blues Brothers.
Nope.
See right there.
You've seriously never seen the Blues Brothers?
I have seen portions of the Blues Brothers. I have not devoted a full day to end my attention to the entirety of Blues Brothers.
Okay, it's got to be done. It's got to be done, Brent. Yeah. That is an epically good show, a good movie.
We'll move on from Carrie Fisher. What are your guys' thoughts about the announcement of Urkel being in the Skeleton Crew? Now, I didn't grow up with Urkel. I think we're all older. D-Doc probably was more of the Urkel age, probably. I don't know. But is that just weird to think that Urkel is going to be making an appearance in a Star Wars show?
Okay, time out. Urkel is in Star Wars now?
Julia White?
Yeah. He's going to be in
the
Skeleton
Crew. There was an announcement, yeah.
How did I miss that?
It was during a playoff hockey game. It was during an
I don't watch sports, so
game.
that makes sense there.
Yeah, he was interviewing for I think he was there supporting the Oilers, and he kind of nonchalantly they're like, well, what are you working on lately? He's like, oh, well, I got a show coming out soon. It's called Skeleton Crew. It's a Star Wars show, and he's like, it definitely was different for me as an actor, and I was like. I'm like, damn, is he supposed to even be saying this? I feel like Star Wars people probably maybe he was supposed to say it on that interview, but I don't know. He really came out and just gave a decent amount of info on it. So, yeah.
Wow.
He could also be making a background alien sound like he's got a major part in the show. So,
I mean, Daniel Craig was in a Star Wars thing. I mean, could be nothing.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, I don't even know what to say about that.
I mean, he's a jerk, so I really don't care. He was on Dancing with the Stars, and he basically belittled the girl that he was dancing with, and I have zero respect for that man.
Urkel?
Really?
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Okay,
yeah, I missed that episode too.
That must have been awkward.
I was Dancing with the Stars. I watch it. I can talk Dancing with the Stars, but throw me some Carrie Fisher. I got nothing. No, he's not a good person in my mind.
They showed it on the air too, Brent.
Just the way he was carrying it. They showed the the way that he talked to her, and then the way they were behind stage, and you could just tell that there was a lot of tension between the two of them because of the way that he was treating and the way that he behaved. It was not good. And from that story, if you read any stories about the way that he behaves behind set and off set, he is like Christian Bale to the max, because Christian Bale is kind of a prima donna.
Who would have ever thought Urkel?
It's Urkel, man.
Yeah. Wow.
Why didn't the little girl just beat him up?
No, it's not Urkel. So here's the deal. It's not Urkel. It's Stefan Urkel. And that if you ever watch the show, he put on the persona. Joe, did you watch? You're shaking your head. See, look, I can school you on a little bit.
So we're bringing down
about Family Matters.
On Family Matters, he put himself into some sort of machine and he became Stefan Urkel, who was like the ladies' man. He was like a ladies' man and wasn't Steve Urkel.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and so he
Stefan
kind of
would show up every now and then.
That is like the Stefan Urkel is like Julia White and not Steve Urkel.
Okay.
Well, I'm not getting any sleep tonight at all. I've got some Dancing with the Stars to watch. I've
And
got
Under
some
the
interviews
Rainbow.
to listen to.
Yeah.
Under the Rainbow.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah,
we
there
we
is
So-
bring
no
we bring
sleep
the
tonight.
knowledge on Rule of the Galaxy. We
Yes,
bring the
yes,
knowledge.
Yes, you do.
So I had some other topics, but I mean, we could talk about Filoni's Heir to the Empire. We could talk about Jedi Survivor, any of those things you guys want to hit on. But I figured before we get into the meat and potatoes of ICCC, ICC Con, or the thing that hit us all today, is there any other topic that anybody here wants to hit before we jump into some of those? Because as usual, I will monopolize an entire show and talk about all things I want to talk about without letting anyone breathe. So HHP guys, regular crew, any topics that were standing out to you guys?
I am ready for ICCC.
Okay. Well, let's hit that. We all attended last year except for DDoc, correct? Yes. I will start with our featured guest here, and we'll start with DB. DB.
Oh, no pressure. No pressure.
Yeah, no. What were things that you were like really excited about, shocked about, things that the reasons you wanted to come back? What were some of the things that stood out to you about last year that you said, hey, that was so good, we got to go back and do this again?
That's a simple yet complex answer.
Okay.
Just the intimacy of the whole thing. I mean, the stars were close. Look, we met you guys there. Here we are a year later, still yakking it up about nothing. Yet just the accessibility of the stars, the vendors, everything. It was very tactile. You could do everything, not like, I hate to mimic Havens because he's got this down right, but you go to the corporate cons and like everything's just an arm's reach away. You can't quite touch. But at ICC Con, did I get it right?
Yes. I think you left out a C.
No.
C. It just felt more like a community of friends than a bunch of strangers wandering around. And I think I'm so stoked to go back. I've got to work the next 5 days and I don't know how I'm going to do it. I feel like I'm 8 years old. Christmas is coming.
That is good. That's right there is a good way to tie that up. Scruffy, how about you?
Yeah, I'll touch a little bit on DB there. I mean, where else can you go sit on the bench and smoke and meet celebrities? I mean, come on. So I guess I'm smoking this year because, I want to meet cool people too. Mm-hmm.
You're already going with me. You're good.
That's true. No.
Interesting.
I'm excited about the Rebels reunion, because getting all those stars in one place, minus Freddie Prinze, obviously. And excited about the vendors that are there. As you can see, obviously I'm a big collector. I have certain things on a list that I need to complete, that I know that I can go there and get, or I can go there to the room sales. It's just awesome to be able to walk around a hotel and walk into people's rooms and buy stuff.
I'm
really
hoping you're
excited
talking
about
about
that.
Star Wars stuff, right?
I was waiting for somebody to bring that up. Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you
there's
for not
hotel
letting
rooms
me down.
that you can go into and pay money, but yes, I just want to make sure it was for Star Wars stuff. Okay.
Thank you for not letting me down. I was waiting for somebody to say something about that.
That's why Scruffy ordered some extra banners for the room sales this year.
Buy here, pay here. There we go. Brown Leader, how about you? I mean, I loved watching you guys walk around last year, do quick, just meet and greets with people and getting to know people. It was cool because, like we would just turn a corner, you turn a corner, and boom, it's like there were 6 of us, and we were all just like, hey, let's just talk a little bit for, about our podcast or what we're doing or what we're looking for, and that was just really fun. How about you though? What
It all goes back to what DB said about community. It just felt like a community and not so much like a convention. It felt like more like an event. And like you were saying, it was our first time to go down as group, as members of the show. And I'm sorry we didn't spend more time in the podcast room. That's definitely one thing I'm going to do this year, is spend more time in the podcast room, getting to know everybody in that room better. But just the accessibility of everybody, and not just fans, but the guests themselves. You turn a corner and there's Timothy Zahn, and next thing you know, we're taking pictures with them. Random artists. DB would vape out on the smoking bench, and we got a 2-minute interview with Clem So at his table, because they were smoking together. You're not going to run into that anywhere else, and that's why I'm a little worried about the bigger venue. But Mike did say there's some places that we can probably hit up, and so, but yeah, and then we just happened to be in the room, the podcast room, when they brought Anthony Daniels in for his 15-minute podcast. I mean, it was just the spontaneity of it, and then the different types of fandoms that were there and represented. I mean, it was just a great feel altogether.
I agree. I've been to two celebrations, and they're great. They're always very fun, but you feel like, hey, if I'm not paying thousands of dollars to get in the right line, to buy the right thing, or what have you, you do feel like there's a separation, and if I'm not in the right line to be in this auditorium for this many hours ahead, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed every minute that I was at each celebration I was at, but this was something quite a bit different, and so I'm glad you guys have the same thoughts and feelings on it. Brent, how about you? Because was this the first con you'd gone to, Brent?
Yeah, it's the first thing that I've ever done that's major for Star Wars. I mean, you said spend thousands of dollars. When you walk around there and buy toys, you could spend thousands of dollars on one toy.
Well, yes, but that's by choice.
Right. I mean, so this is like this is not like your like garage sale toy collector's commissary is your high-end toy collecting market. So be prepared to see some of those original 77 toys. I mean, I think what blew me away was the $85 loose toys. But I mean, I think that they were all originals. That's why, but they were all loose and they were $85 a pop. So,
were they in the same hotel rooms that Scruffy was going into?
Look, I don't know, man.
The loose toys. Oh my God.
I mean, they might be. They might be. You never know. Debbie does ICC. So it's after dark, right? No, Joe's here. We can't do that.
No, we're good.
No, so but
Steve
they also
Boston will
had
tell me later to
true.
watch our language and what I say. It's okay.
The fact that you can also find some of those hard to find Black Series, you're like, how the hell these have been on pre-order for so long, and then you walk and there's a booth that's got 25 of them. So those will be there. If toys are your thing, I was really blown away by all of the cosplay that was there. I think since they got the bigger one, they might have their Gav tank, because the Tennessee or Kentucky 501st had an ATST and two speeder bikes last year. They showed me pictures of an actual working Gav tank. So because it's a bigger venue, they might even roll in that Gav tank, which would be pretty cool. So
Brent brought it up about you're not going to find your garage sale kind of, hey, this is a beater that's, $2 or whatever. You're not really going to find a lot of that at ICCC. I will agree with him on that. Maybe with them expanding this year, we'll see some more diverse things, but I'm not sure. But I will tell you guys, for the Hyperspace Hero guys, if you haven't gone to the Great Ohio Toy Show in Xenia, Ohio, if you guys want to get your bang for your buck, they have everything from $1 things up to thousands of dollar things, but it's like 7 straight barns at a fairgrounds, and the amount of Star Wars stuff in there is incredible. So just we always give them a shout out because we love going there. But if you guys haven't checked it out yet and you're looking for maybe not the more expensive things, they will have that there for you as well. So
that has been on my list for a couple years now.
It's incredible. Yeah, one of our favorite places to go.
I love going there.
Alfie, how about you? You throw in your 2 cents worth on ICCC last year and what you're looking forward to this year.
I had a great time at ICCC last year, and what I'm really looking forward to, walking around on Saturday when it was really crowded, was such a different feel from Friday, obviously. I mean, it was like 10 times the amount of people. But you could look around and see that this was ready to go to the next level. And I'm excited to see what that next level is. And does it still have that same feel of community and just a bunch of people there to celebrate Star Wars as it did last year? There's always that kind of fear that as things get bigger, it's going to lose that little spark that it had.
Agreed. You can take it to the next level and miss out on some of the things that made it special. So we'll cross our fingers. Look, Michael's got his thumb on the pulse of this, and Jim and his group at ICCC TV, they have their thumb on the pulse of what it's like to run the live shows. And I think for me, that was, besides seeing something like the Clone Wars crew, I was 20 feet away from all of them while they were doing a show together. That was incredible. But then to be back, do live shows, have people come by our booth and talk to us about our podcast, to have Anna Graves, take one of our shirts and be very supportive of our podcast ever since then. Whenever we post things or whatever, she's great. And it's one of the reasons why we have a love for Duchess Satine and that character in Clone Wars, is because Anna Graves just treats us nice. So yeah, I think there's a lot of things we're looking forward to. And I think one of the biggest things for us is, we were joking earlier that it's like me and Alfie and D-Doc work together, but this is going to be our first time that we're hanging out with D-Doc, and it's really exciting after 2 years to, of getting to know him so well and everything, and all the work that he does for us, that we're going to be able to actually hang and just have fun together, like we're the pals that we are, except actually in person. So
Absolutely.
That's exciting. So yeah, but
I hope he lives up to the hype.
I hope we show up and he's like 4'2", and
I mean, so you're gonna go with a wee leprechaun? Is it, you think he's a wee leprechaun? I mean, he's got the ginger. I'm sorry,
He's gonna be carrying a
I'm
pot of
sorry,
gold.
Doc, that Joe just stereotyped you as a wee leprechaun.
Yeah, what's up with that, man? No, I'm actually pretty tall. I'm like 6 foot tall or so.
There we go.
I have a big nose. That's the thing. I have a pretty big schnoz here.
We'll go. Yeah, I got you. We're good. So
what you see is what you get here. That's it.
You guys are going down when Thursday night or Friday morning, or
I am boarding a 5 a.m. flight on Friday morning, so
okay.
I'll be up and at 'em early, and I'm going to be making videos, and I'm going to do one of those inspirational, like those inspirational videos where you see like gamer buddies meet each other for the first time.
Love it.
After they've been gaming forever. I'm going to be walking up to you guys holding the camera, we're going to emotionally embrace each other. I'm just kidding.
Brother's got a hug. Hey, real quick before we go further, Dr. Squatch is blowing up our comments. Thank you, Dr. Squatch. I forgot to go away from the private chat to the public chat, so I'm just catching up on all those. But thank you for always supporting and giving us shout outs and everything else. And D-Doc's probably much more on top of it. He's probably going to see something. We're going to talk about Galactic Star Cruiser in a moment here, Dr. Squatch. So thank you again for always supporting us and everything. But yeah, guys, look, we're just looking forward to it. I'm glad that we've become friends. We interact. We probably should interact more, but all of our crazy lives chasing kids and grandkids, it all get, it's just part of it. We're all grown-ups and adults, and we got things that got to take care of. So, but I look forward to meeting up with you guys again down there, hanging out, and just having some fun, taking pictures and just having a good time with Star Wars. So excited about that completely. And now I guess if you want, I can bring up the big news of the day that I don't know who really wants to talk about it or not, but I thought it was a joke at first, but I'm guessing it's not a joke from what I'm seeing. Our friend, the Galactic Star Cruiser, is going to be no more. And which is actually kind of a bummer, because even though we've all ripped on it a little bit, we all said if we could afford it, we'd go. Okay, a lot. But if we could afford it, we would go. And
I did not say that.
What?
That I would go. After I've actually watched a beginning to end, and after I watched it, I said I don't want to go because I could not deal with that claustrophobia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like the size of the cabins look like they're just
the
ginormous.
Size of the
like sleeping
everything
areas.
is too small. I couldn't. I was getting anxiety just watching it. I could not imagine being there.
Yeah. I'm going to bounce it back out to our special guests again. Yeah, Brown Leader, I'll start with you. Thoughts on the Galactic Star Cruiser? Did you see the demise coming? Have any of the three of you been? And what are your thoughts on this whole situation where a multi-billion-dollar company can't figure out how to get from tripping over its own feet all the time with something like this?
Well, they also just changed CEOs. So, I mean, this was yeah, I mean, when they first priced it, when they first opened it, it was already priced out of how many fans range, I mean, it was just, and all you ever saw was and it was funny because not that long ago, they kind of had a second wave of influencers, doing new videos on it and trying to hype it up again. You saw discounted rates. Little surprised that it came this soon. Thought they would try to drag it out for a little bit longer, but obviously somebody at Disney kind of matched the numbers up and realized that it's just not going to be self-sustaining.
Yeah, agreed. We joked before I hop over to Scruffy and DB. I was joking with the guys that in Indiana, when a store closes, the first thing that goes in is either a fireworks store or a Halloween shop.
Yep.
And I was like, this is going to be the biggest fireworks or Halloween shop in the country, sitting in the Galactic Star Cruiser. Scruffy, what are your thoughts on the Galactic Star Cruiser?
Halloween town.
Halloween, fireworks, and booze. What more do you need? It's all right there. I was not the least bit surprised, like DB or like Brown later said, it's just priced out of the normal person's range. When it first came out, my wife heard about it, and as you can see behind me, I'm a collector. My wife supports the hobby. She doesn't mind Star Wars. She's watched them. Not her favorite thing in the world, but she supports the hobby. When she first heard about it and saw it, she's like, "You have to go. I want to take you to see this." And then we saw the prices, and I'm like, "That's just not going to happen." So I was not too surprised. I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
DB, where do we go from here with this? I mean, I want to hear your feedback and thoughts on the whole thing, but where do we go from here with that? What are they going to put into this thing now?
Well, they haven't announced anything. I mean, I can see them still utilizing this as a themed hotel, maybe without the full experience. I don't know. Because nobody invited me to go down and be an influencer. And
What?
I know.
You did not get that list?
Do I not have the face to be an influencer on the TikTok or whatnot? But...
Yes, you do, Rob. Yes, you do, Rob Halford.
Only when they want to do a classic metal theme night.
Hey, you know what? If I have to bang my head and do some parody lyrics, I'll do it. But Disney did not invite me, and I what can I say? But it was priced ridiculous, and if Disney had done any kind of research, they would know the people that could afford this are spending their money on toys and helmets and conventions and other things. So. It's not surprising. I'm surprised at the quick shutdown, other than it probably was very related to the return of Iger to Disney. But I sure would like to see them use it as a themed hotel still, even if it's not a themed experience.
Brent, hit us.
I think that the decision was made prior. We're just hearing about this, and I think that's part of the reason why we have Bob Iger, because Chapek was known as the hotels and the hospitality guy who got moved up because of that, and he no longer in that role. And Iger and Eisner were both media guys. They were big into the movies. They were big into doing media. So I think the move was to get rid of Chapek. I think had the writing on the wall because Disney Plus was lacking, and I think this was also you're the guy who kind of orchestrated and built the parks, and you're a parks guy, and the parks not doing so hot right now. So that was all I was going to add into the conversation. I'm not surprised, but I actually think the news happened
I always got to add something to the screen while you're
Oh,
talking, Brent. I know it
gosh.
distracts you. I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
Wouldn't it distract anybody else? Well, because I'm talking, everybody's laughing, and I know I'm not saying anything funny.
I'm sorry.
But
Oh,
sometimes the news
gosh.
takes time, and I think, to me, I feel like this was made when they made the decision to switch from Chapek to Iger. So 3 or 4 months prior, they finally let it leak out that this is where it was going to go.
Okay. All right. Alfie, bring some heat, man. What are your thoughts?
Okay, I'll start off with some non-heat, and we'll just be sensical about it. I think this was a very, very poor business model that they created. You have this giant extravaganza that it's being supported. You only have 100 families that can stay at a time for 2 days, and you've got to try to stretch that out to cover all the costs of, a 48-hour experience with shows and characters and light shows and all this stuff. That it's just not going to cut it. It could never recoup or even make a profit what you're going to spend on it. And if you watch the videos, you basically pull up to a warehouse. That's not the Disney experience. You made it way too expensive for a product that people are only going to do one time. Very few people are ever going to come back and do it a second time. And you've already priced out so many people. So the remaining people, you're depending on them to be repeat customers. But why would you want to spend this kind of money to do the same exact thing twice, especially when it really offers so little for the price? I mean, just for me, it would be $12,000 to take my family there. Well, for that, we didn't spend that much for 9 days at Disney with everything included in the price, plane tickets, food, all the character dinners. That wasn't even close to that. And I think one of the most shocking things to me is, and it really hits to this point, that it was just way too expensive. They never even bothered to offer any type of discount or lower the rate. They did do some promotions where they said, if you pay to stay at the Star Cruiser, we'll give you a discount at another Disney resort, because those are so much larger and they can recoup the losses because of the amount of people that stay there. But they didn't even try to lower the cost of this at all. They went to basically having one shift every day instead of, the same experience being done multiple times. They just cut it to one. So that lets you know how few people were actually doing this. And the fact that a less than 2-year-old Disney resort, you can book the next day, that's unheard of. Everyone knows that if you stay at Disney, that's like a 6-month prior thing for a family to start planning. And if you can do it the next day, this thing's a total failure.
So I will chime in and say this. I went to Italy last year. My wife and I plan on going back to Italy last year. It wasn't that different than a 2-night stay in the Galactic Star Cruiser, to expense wise, to look at something like that compared to going to Italy. So I'm looking and going, wow, I know I'll go do that again. So you're right. It would be really a tough sell to get people to be repeat customers at the Galactic Star Cruiser. And I'm going to throw a little Ted Lasso in here on you guys. For those who've watched the most recent episode, they were in a meeting and they wanted to create a super soccer league and talk about how they want to make it only for the rich, only for the elite. And one of the owners stood up and said, well, what the hell are you people doing? Haven't you made enough money? This is, to some people, soccer is their life. Their team is their life. Being around their family about this is their life. Star Wars is kind of like that. Star Wars, as Freddie Prinze would say, is for kids, right? So a bunch of guys our age talking about it is kind of silly in the first place. But I look forward to taking my grandson and doing all these things and buying him toys and all that. It is for kids, but how does it fit to be a kid thing? And then at the same time, we're going to charge you $6,000 or $7,000 to take your kids to this 2-day event. Alfie, go ahead.
One of the biggest failures of Disney with Star Wars is this idea that we're going to make everything ourselves. We don't want this old story. We don't want these old characters. we're going to make a park that is part of our new story, and only the new things can be in this park.
It's
And
it's so stupid.
if they were to have made a Art of Animation style Star Wars resort, one of the mid-level, resorts that they have, full of the classic characters, full of the behind the scenes stuff, make it for kids 24 hours a day, that thing would be booked 365. And instead you got this. And I've been to Galaxy's Edge, and Galaxy's Edge was awesome. It really was. But it's also really lame because it's not Star Wars. It's a city in Star Wars. I don't want any of the Galaxy's Edge stuff. I want stuff that says Star Wars on it. I want to, Return of the Jedi. I want stuff like that. I don't want, I'm not going to buy 20 different shirts that all have the same logo on them. I'll buy one or two, but after that, I'm never going to buy anything again.
Okay, maybe I'll go back for a third because of the color. I don't know, but
yeah.
Go ahead, D-Doc.
I made sure I wore my Mickey Mouse shirt of him saying "eek" because of all the money he's going to be losing on this Star Cruiser. Although I think I've accidentally worn this like 3 weeks in a row on the podcast. But
no one watches anyway, D-Doc.
What Alfie was saying, it's so funny because my wife, it's like it's kind of like what Scruffy was saying. It's like, my wife likes Star Wars, she'll watch it, but she supports my habits with it and stuff. And I had said to her, because we're in the process, we're going on the Disney Wish in November, the cruise, and now we're actually going to be going and we're like going all in on it. So we're going to go do like 2 days at the parks and then go to the cruise from there. And we're booking our hotel now. And I told her, I said, hey, remember that Galactic Star Cruise that just opened when we went last time? And she's like, yeah. I said, it's already shutting down. And she was like, she's like, that's crazy. And she said, why? She goes, because we're looking at all these hotels, as Alfie said, Art of Animation, stuff like that. She goes, why wouldn't they just make one of the affordable hotels Star Wars themed and just do that? She's like, it would probably be sold out all the time. And I said, I know, that sounds a lot too much like common sense. I mean, I don't know. I wish I could be in these think tanks, that people get paid millions of dollars to do. And they say, we own this extremely popular IP. Let's take none of the characters from that IP and put them in this, extremely expensive hotel or whatever. But I mean, the formula's there. Just make a freaking affordable hotel and just you could literally print money from doing it. You're in the business of making money. So you can make money and art at the same time. And you can also pay tribute. Like, think about it. You have Art of Animation. It has Finding Nemo, Cars, and like Little Mermaid, Lion King. You could easily do sequel trilogy, prequel trilogy, original trilogy. And then you could have the pools themed like Endor or Hoth. You could put a freaking AT-AT near the pool and a bunch of other stuff. And there you go, Bob Iger. I just made you $1 billion. Like,
I know it's not that hard. I don't understand why they make it so difficult.
That's why I just listened to his book, because I'm trying to enter his brain and think about like what he thinks about. And like I said, when they purchased Star Wars, his tone about how he talks about Star Wars is so different than Marvel. He was so like, we need to do this. We need to do this with Star Wars. And he wasn't like that with Marvel. He let Marvel do what it was good at. And he maintained that. With Star Wars, it was like, we have to make 3 movies right now to recoup this money. And it's like they should have just chilled out a little bit. Like,
we'll go to Brent and then the Hyperspace guys.
I'm just gonna say that it was Chapek who was designing it, because at the time he was the CEO of the parks.
Was it Chapek though? Or
Chapek
did Bob inspire it? Did Bob inspire?
So Bob was the CEO, right? He was CEO. He's the one who purchased everything. He's on his way out. His big thing was media and putting out Disney Plus. Chapek was the one. He got moved up because he was the parks guy. He was the one, and there were people that were kind of questioning his move up anyway. But I'm telling you, like, he was the parks guy. I'm putting this on Chapek. I'm not putting this on Iger. It's kind of like everything gets blamed on the ex guy before him or whatever. But to me, this design, one, was the decision that Alfie's talking about. The fact that Disney didn't want to. I don't think they didn't want to bring in the old stuff They were convinced that they were going to move forward and people were going to love them moving forward. They were convinced that they could create something new and that they could take that new and then move forward and that the fan base would not move forward. They were convinced that that was going to happen. I feel they were convinced that was going to happen because Force Awakens had positive buzz, had a positive move forward. There were people that left Force Awakens. I'm telling you, the turd in the punch bowl is where all of the shit hit the fan. I mean, we're talking about a $4 billion turd in the punch bowl.
Okay.
See, I told you it would go there.
When
Did
I
not
knew,
say
yeah,
that?
you said it would go there.
What do you mean? Like,
He said as soon as we start talking about the Galactic Star Cruiser, it'd go right to the sequels, right to the sequels.
Because that's what it was.
Right.
It was designed by Disney because Disney created the park, Galaxy's Edge. Disney created that to build upon what they had created within their IP of them moving forward, and it was Disney Star Wars. They created the parks to become you could live in the sequel world. That didn't go as well as everyone expected, but they're committed because they're spending $100 million building Galaxy's Edge. They're committed because they designed this hotel moving forward, and the turd in the bunch bowl spun everything out of control, and the fans did not buy in the way that Disney expected it to.
That was a big turd. They were eating fiber the day that turd went into the punch bowl.
But it's true though. I said it's a $4 billion turd.
I want to hear now that we've kind of just ramrodded right through Galactic Star Cruiser into the sequels. Have we sparked any thoughts or anything from any of the Hyperspace Heroes guys? Scruffy, go ahead.
Right when Disney took over, I think it was one of those conversations where we're all sitting at work and should have been doing a podcast on it. I told them they're going to alienate their core fan group, their fan club. The core Star Wars fans are going to end up alienating them to move forward with this new grand vision. And to a certain extent, okay, I get it. You bought it. It's yours. Do what you want with it. But you can't turn your back on the people that made Star Wars what it is today. You know, this group sitting here. And then they dropped that amazing, speaking of the turd in the toilet bowl, they dropped that amazing Force Awakens movie on us. And I was like, oh, wow, did I call that one? So, I was not a fan of Force Awakens.
That's what I was going to say. I think he went to a different turd in the punch bowl.
Yeah, I did. These guys have heard me say it before. It's like, if I wanted to watch A New Hope, I would have just stayed home.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you had Super Weapon of the Week.
Sure,
you had an orphan on a desert planet who is force sensitive and becomes a Jedi.
I loved it.
I didn't,
and that's even without a wise old Jedi to teach her as well.
Right.
Oh yes, we lost a wise old Jedi. Yes.
Yeah, we didn't have a wise. Brown Leader, how about you? Any thoughts that's sparked in this last conversation?
Okay, guys, here's the next new thing. It's all about synergy. It's all about breaking the mold. It's all about creating the new. And you know what? We're going to appeal to the kids because that's what we did to our parents. We had this new thing and we appealed to them. And we made them buy us the toys, and Star Wars grew. So we're going to create new characters and a new vision. And we're going to create that demand in the kids. And they're going to tell their parents that we want this and we want this, and they're going to spend all the money. Well,
yeah, how did I know you're going to go there?
Well, I mean, I can only buy so many Constable Zuvio figures.
Right. But you know, it's a different time. Back when we experienced Star Wars, there were not as many other things, IPs. There were not as many other, you know, we didn't have the video games, the multimedia, the internet, the influencers. We didn't TikTok. We didn't have all that growing up. Star Wars was a revolutionary thing to us.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're thinking that, and I get it, you know, okay, well, Force Awakens was made for the new generation. DB's daughter, Brownie 4, absolutely loves it. She loves Rey, and I'm so happy that she does. Alfie, I know your kids love Rey, and you guys are a Rey household.
Yeah, and that's why I give The Force Awakens a pass. I know
Right.
we shouldn't do that, but I do.
But it's not the same time. It's not the same era. It's not this. You're not going to get the same demand. Look at how. Sorry, Brent, but look at how the toys fell off. In the market. I'm not trying to take this down toy talk. So, but
No, you're good. You have to though.
But you guys have talked about it. We've talked about it in terms of how the toy sales just plummeted right off. So as collectors, as older collectors, why don't they make this? Why don't they make that? DB's still wanting his Last Jedi. Prince Leia, right? General Leia.
Oh, yeah.
No, that would be from Rise of Skywalker. They
Rise of
never made
Skywalker,
one.
yeah. So I mean, it's just not the same market. Now, were they trying something new with Galactic Star Cruiser, the immersive experience? Yeah, okay, it is different than your normal Disney hotel with the pools, and it's not as immersive an experience, but it just was not the right, I don't know, just not the right time for that. And people there's not as many people willing to shell out the bucks for that experience, because it's not the only experience you can have. You can throw on a VR headset and have an immersive experience all you want in your living room. Just like stadiums are suffering from ticket prices because a lot of people have better sound systems, drink a kitchen right next door.
Mhm.
They can go drop a turd in the punch bowl in their own private bathroom. I mean, you're the fan experience, whether you're talking football, sports, Disney, it's a different world. It's a completely different world. And they're trying to build something off an old model, but try to make it new. It's almost like they've got too many fans now, because the sequels didn't appeal as much to us, because we wanted, if you're going to take the Skywalker saga down the road, we want to go down the road. We want to continue the Skywalker saga and to have a more developed story, not a reboot of the Star Wars franchise, but call it the Skywalker saga, thinking that we're going to be dumb enough to fall for the label and go, oh, it's Skywalker. We want everything. We're going to be critical because we're along further in our lives. Life is not black and white anymore. It's a lot more gray in our lives. You have the good, the bad, the ugly. And so we want a story. If we're going to continue the story and continue down the road, that's more the story we're looking for, instead of just the simplicity of A New Hope when that first came out. Sorry, I don't know where I went on that.
No, you're good.
That was great.
It's good.
I'm still stuck on the turd in the
DB, hit us up with some words of wisdom here.
Oh, well, you've gone to the wrong guy. No, no, we this has really morphed from talking about the Star Cruiser, but I got to go back, and I think Brent's right. It was just, no, you absolutely were, because it all goes back to, we got to pump out new material to pay for this $4 billion franchise we just bought. And they wanted just to jam stuff down our throats, which I think all three of the sequels are beautifully made films. The stories aren't so great. And Kylo Ren actually says it in Last Jedi, kill the past, let it die, or something like that. I mean, they flat out tell you what Disney's trying to do with the original Star Wars. But I think they would have been better served to use the legacy characters as your main protagonists and kind of slowly hand off to a new generation. But they didn't take the time to flesh that out. Now, at the same time, the minute Disney signed that contract, they're designing the Star Cruiser. This took 10 years to get built or whatever, 8 years. So you're right. They banked everything on, the public acceptance of the new characters, the new story, and it just hasn't gone the way Marvel has gone.
I disagree, because the new stuff in Marvel has gone about the same way the sequel trilogies has. Eternals is flat. If you read and you listen to the people who like the posts and the reviews of Guardians of the Galaxy, they're fun, but it doesn't move the story forward. Like, they're getting the same kind of comments that they're getting because now the Marvel legacy stuff is over with. You don't have Tony, you don't have Cap, you don't have some of those characters.
For now.
They're not getting, well, for now, right? but you're not getting the same kind of publicity. You're not getting the same kind of buy-in. Marvel's starting to lose steam as well.
That's all a big ploy for when they come back. It'll be even bigger.
Yeah, it's the new Coke
Spider-Man 12.
strategy.
Down
The only reason-
Spider-Man 12 found the way home.
Right. So,
Oh, gee, Mr. Stark, I've missed you so much.
but they're gonna do that because they know that they're slowly failing and losing the fan
Right.
base.
But
Look,
at least Marvel used those main characters for what,
Yes.
a decade
yes, they did.
before they handed off to these ones that nobody
Yeah.
likes. So, you know,
They wrung out every dollar they could from that original cast.
They did.
Yeah, but didn't Marvel also have much more of a developed plan of action?
Yeah, absolutely.
When
So
absolutely.
when
Which
Disney
is-
made the purchase, as opposed to when
Correct.
Lucas just slapped something together really quick to drive up the price
Love it.
on to drive up the price on the sale.
You
And-
write a Marvel movie and you go, well, there's 40 freaking years of comic books about Iron Man. This shit's easy. I can whip this out all day long.
All right.
But now that Disney has taken over the Marvel arc, you finish with Avengers Endgame, and now you've got into all Disney created new material. It doesn't have the same feel. They're about to drop 2 new series. The Echo one is going to get all released in a batch, in a the whole season in one day. Instead of doing they're changing formats on that one from instead of a week, an episode a week. Even Miss Marvel was an episode a week, and
Nick Fury's coming out too. That's going to be a good one.
Secret
I
Wars.
think.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
D-Doc, what you got?
I have one final point with Disney, and I think it's their biggest problem right now is towards the end of Bob's tenure being the CEO, he bought too much. He bought Fox Searchlight, he bought Star Wars, he bought Marvel. And he said at the end of his book, he drew it all out and he said, this is what a multimedia company is supposed to look like, because he had ESPN on there and he has everything. And I think the problem that Disney has now with him buying all those IPs is now that when Disney buys anything, people are like, oh, great. Like Pat McAfee just announced, this is semi off topic, but he just made a deal with ESPN. He's one of the most popular sports shows and people love him because he's an individual. And right away, everybody's commenting, Disney's going to ruin this because they own ESPN. So Disney needs to find a way for them to let people be individuals and not interfere with what makes something great. Stop interfering with what makes it great. Star Wars was great because of the fans that were there before Disney was there. That's why Disney had their little deals back in the day where Darth Vader could show up at the Magic Kingdom and do those special Star Wars nights and everything because of what George created and everything that made it great. So don't ignore what makes it great because that's how you make money. It's very simple. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just don't know business well enough. But.
No, you're good, Alfie.
My final point is, and I've brought this up many times, I got the luxury, I got lucky in being able to go to Disney right around the time that Rogue One was out. So pre-Galaxy's Edge. And then we went a second time and did the whole Galaxy's Edge thing. Disney did not learn from the excitement and the fever that was in the parks for people for Star Wars. They mistook it and twisted it into thinking that they could make anything and people would love it. When they had the big Star Wars stage show, yes, people are excited about Rey, but they were also very excited to see Darth Maul, Stormtroopers, Darth Vader. And cutting all of that out of your park has really hampered it. And like I said, it really, after a while, it just really makes Galaxy's Edge kind of lame, in my opinion, because it has to fit into this teeny tiny little mold.
I got you. Well, I tell you what, I have a 5 a.m. flight tomorrow, so I'm gonna keep this a little short here and tie some things up because unless you guys want to keep going, I can go get some sleep because I have to pack and get ready to sleep. But let's bring some good things out. We've been bashing for the last half an hour. Let's bring some good stuff out. I will tell you this. I'm going to give it all. Look, I love the character of Ahsoka. I'm going to give that a try. I love that once the writers' things are all done with Skeleton Crew and Acolyte, ready to give all that a try. I'll go into them open-minded. I'll go into them and see what we're all about. And I'll even go into the 2025 movie ready to go. I'll be piling us all in the car. We'll all go sit there on the first night and go watch it. We'll even fly D-Doc in for it if we can. But I mean, I'm going to look at the positive in the future and say, there's things out there that can be good. I'm going to hope that they're good. I'm going to hope that they're fulfilling. I'm not going to go into them. Look, I think we all had an idea the Star Cruiser was not going to succeed. Okay, it's in the past. We've ripped off that Band-Aid. Let's look forward, and I will say this. Between ICCC, all these things coming up in the future, shows, movies, whatever, I'm ready to still light that cannon. I'm ready to still go with it and be positive. That's my thoughts. That's how I'm going to end it on my end. I'm going to go around to our crew, and we're going to start with Scruffy. Give me something good to finish on and some closing thoughts from you for this show, Scruffy.
Yeah, I'm not hating on all of it. I loved Solo. I loved Rogue One. I thought they were epic movies. I'm so looking forward to Ahsoka. And I agree with you. I'm going into that new movie with high hopes and ready to be excited. That I'm just happy there's still more material coming. Because I don't know what I'd do with myself if there wasn't. A little concerned about that when that dries up someday. Maybe I'll have to switch franchise and start watching some Trek.
Oh my gosh! No.
What?
No. Oh gosh. DB, hit me with something good and positive to finish off here tonight.
Oh, good and positive. I am so stoked to get down to Nashville or just outside of Nashville, and I think this is going to become an annual thing for the three of us. But you know, looking even further ahead, we have Celebration Japan coming up, which I'm not going to, but Scruffy brought my attention to this. That most likely means in 4 years we're going to have some sort of monster 50th anniversary celebration, and that means I have 4 years to save up for that, and I'm pretty stoked about that. And I'm open-minded. We got new movies coming out. You know, as much as I rip on The Last Jedi, talking about turds and punch bowls, Star Wars is Star Wars, and I will watch Star Wars. I may not watch it as much as other ones, but you know, more Star Wars is more Star Wars, and I've waited my whole life to get this much content. So this is awesome. Good.
Brown Leader, how about you? Well, first of all, before you start, I want to thank the three of you guys for just joining on and being a part of what we're doing. And you know, again, I consider you guys friends. I want us to really, you know, have some fun down there at ICCC. So before we break away and before I forget, I just want to say thank you to you guys for being a part of what we do. And I love listening to your show. You guys crack me up, and look forward to many, many more of Hyperspace Heroes.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's great to be here.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a blast. I listen to every episode. I listen to you guys all the time. So, really look at. Well, actually, one of the positive things is, Brent, I'd like to ask you to come on our show and talk about Legion at some point. So,
yes.
We just did our first tabletop episode last week with a tabletop game maker producer. That he produces or makes his own publisher. That's the right
independent. He's an independent guy, right?
Independent publisher, yeah. And we had a riot, and it wasn't Star Wars, but we did talk Star Wars. But his games aren't Star Wars. But I wanted to I want to bring you on at some point so we could talk tabletop gaming with Legion. But just the positive for me, you know, again, like DB said, I love Star Wars. I'll give everything a chance. We've wanted new stories. We're getting the Acolyte, we're getting Skeleton Crew, we're getting, you know, Ahsoka. Give me new stories. But to put the sprinkles on the turd, so as we talked, we briefly mentioned at the beginning, since this is a joint episode, and you guys are hosting, but it's a joint episode. All guests on our show become honorary members of Brown Squadron. So what that means is you get a flight designation and you get a call sign. So I have all that for you guys, and we'll do that right now. So,
oh God, I'm scared. I'm
So-
scared.
So Joe, you are
D-Doc,
now
hold my hand. Hold me.
You are Brown 23, and your
Okay.
call sign is Merrick, after Antok Merrick, who is the blue leader in the Galactic Civil War era. So Alfie, we're gonna go with Jaster for your call sign. You are Brown 24. I think it's kind of obvious why we're going with Jaster for you, since you're such a Mandalorian
I like it.
fanatic. Brent, so yours is, let me see, I gotta bring up the information. We are going with, let's see, where is it? So you are Brown 25, and your call sign is Gleb. And Gleb, I knew I was going to get that. So Gleb was an Aqualish that worked for the Imperial. Now I lost my notes. The Imperial. He was basically like in charge of like the academy. He was like an instructor for the Imperials, kind of going from the post-Empire to the First Order phase of things.
What book or what reference was that from?
I think I want to say it's Legends. So it's not. Let's see if I have it in my notes here. But
And Aqualish is the squid heads, right?
no, that's a Quarren.
Oh, what's the
So-
Aqualish?
Aqualish is
Aqualish
the ones
is
that Cara Dune gun
Walrus Man.
in the sewers on Mandalorian season 2.
Oh, the big lip in front of the
Big-
face.
Yeah. So here it was. It was the Gleb was the Aqualish who served as the headmaster of the future Imperial Leaders Military Preparatory School on Vardos. So you can find the full write-up on Wikipedia.
From Battlefront 2.
Is that what it is? Okay.
There we go.
And
Right.
then D-Doc.
Panda Baba. Okay.
So obviously there's no ginger plumbers in Star Wars yet.
Yep.
So I couldn't find a direct reference. So actually I've got a choice for you. So Brown 26, and I've got a choice of 3 different names. So first was an Ugnaught named Ugnor, who in Legends helped build Bespin, Cloud City, and he also became the head of the Ugnaught Mechanics Union.
That sounds awesome.
The second was I think it's Luther Peel, who is the watermonger from Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, I like that guy. He's
So
a stapler guy from Office Space.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the other was that would be Peel, or Narin, who is a character from Legends, and he was a squid head, a Quarren, who was a member of the Rogue Squadron.
I'm going Ugnor all day.
Okay.
All right,
But
there it
is. Where it is.
I'm just gonna throw out an objection because he gets to choose.
Hey, I'm guys, real quick. I do have to break away. D-Doc, do you mind finishing up after I hop off here real quick?
I'm ready. Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
if you want to wrap it now.
No. You guys go. Keep finishing that up, guys. I'm going to break away. I apologize. Just got a lot of stuff I got to get finished up here before that 4:30 alarm clock goes and the packing and everything.
Every
Thank
morning.
you guys for this, and D-Doc, you finish up, and I will I will meet up with you guys very soon and talk to you. Thanks again to everybody. I just got to hop out real early, real quick.
Good
Thanks.
to see you, Joe. We'll see you in a
See
week.
you next
guys.
week, Joe.
You got it.
And to answer your question, Brent, as Brown leader, I reserve the right to fashion the rules as
You
I
just got
see fit.
lawyered.
I knew you were going to go there.
I love it. I love it.
And if I seem full of turds, well, we are Brown Squadron.
Right.
Well, Brent, I wanted to be Brown 4 and I wanted to be Maverick or something cool like Tom Cruise, but I get droid bait. Come on.
Droid
So
bait.
you didn't choose droid bait?
Oh God.
No, we assigned him that in my
we assigned
office
him
one
that.
day.
It was all
actually.
the carbon scoring on my ship, I think.
No,
I love it.
I appreciate it. I'm definitely gonna have to check out who Glib is, by the way. So, but I like it. It matches the education world that I'm in. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm absolutely happy with Ugnor.
And while we'll like kind of follow the same theme that Joe was going as we were wrapping things up here too, which I'm personally glad to finally talk to you guys. I know I've interacted with you online and, through my plumbing videos and all that fun stuff as well. So I'm excited to meet all you guys at ICCC. So this was a lot of fun.
Lower your expectations.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be there. I personally don't like flying. Like it's something like my wife is like, she literally just does not care. So for me, I'm just like, I just need to get past the flight and I'll be good to go. And 5 a.m. flight is too early to have a beer beforehand to take the edge off.
No, it's not. It's
No,
5
it's
o'clock
not.
somewhere.
You're in the airport.
It's absolutely
That's
not.
like the one great thing about airports is
You
it
can
doesn't
drink-
matter what time it is.
I know you
Exactly.
can drink all the time at the airport, but at the same time, it's like I know my endurance level, and it's like I want to like save my endurance for Friday. And if I have a 5 a.m. beer, it's like it's gonna screw me up. It's gonna absolutely screw me up.
You
And
just
then
gotta
I'll probably have
power
to go to
through
the
that.
bathroom on the plane too, which I don't
mean,
want to walk
Maintain
down
it.
the
This is-
aisle.
Maintain it.
Seriously, man. Like, this is sounding like amateur hour over here, D-Doc.
I don't like flying.
Come
I don't
on.
like
You're
it.
Ugnor. You're Ugnor. You are the...
That's right. You know what? I am
You're
Ugnor.
you are Ugnor. You can do this.
Actually, you're right. I am. I need to. I'm good with that. Usually,
You
I'm
know,
good
but
once
D-
the plane takes off.
Hey, D-Doc, I'm jealous because you get to fly. I have to ride with Scruffy.
Just take a
And
Xanax.
we're going to be going
eyes,
roughly
it'll
the
be okay.
same speed. So,
Roughly the same speed.
Just take a Xanax, close your eyes. It'll be okay, little guy. Don't
I
worry.
will. I got my Xannies ready. Don't worry.
I love it. I love it. Well, Alfie, do you have anything positive following the theme that Joe was wrapping us up with to finish things off?
Yeah. I know this isn't going to sound real positive, but it sounds positive to me.
Yes.
Every time I read one of these Disney stories, like what we've been talking about all night, to me, all I can think of is in desperation to right the ship, we are one step closer to a Luke Skywalker Jedi Academy series.
I believe it.
Well,
Because Daisy Ridley isn't covering up this news. You're going to have to trot out Mark Hamill and get everybody excited to forget about this. And that's what I can't wait for.
Yeah,
Bring it.
agreed.
I agree. And honestly, I really think that it wouldn't hurt if you found someone to play Luke Skywalker that looks like Mark Hamill. And,
Yeah.
then
It
you
kind of
can-
already works on the show.
Yeah,
If he
the
was
guy
to come
who
out and
literally-
say, hey, I'm Luke Skywalker. This is the new Luke Skywalker.
There you go. Yeah, I could get down with that. I think a lot of people would get down with that. But
No, but really, yeah, I'm excited to go to ICCC again, and it'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait to meet you guys again and finally meet you, D-Doc. And I know it does sound like I'm always negative about Disney Star Wars, but I'm always will be excited for new content. So I will definitely be there for the next movie if and when it does happen.
are you going to get a tattoo again at ICCC?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
I know that I can't because I don't know. I'm not a needles guy and I just don't even have any. So
Once you start, you
Nope.
won't stop.
Yeah.
I'm terrified of needles too, so I'm right there with you. Not
You
happening.
just don't look.
Oh, is that really?
It's just that easy.
All this time I've been screwing it up.
There is a pleasure to the pain. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
Honestly, though, I don't mind. Tattoos don't bother me, but shots bother me. So I'm with you on not liking needles. I know that sounds really stupid, but I don't know.
I've had a tattoo and I feel the exact same way, Alfie. I got a couple, so they're not just one tattoo. Now, if you do a single needle tattoo, that's a different story. When they do like the 13 needle tattoos, there's not as much needle pricking as you think.
Interesting. Brent, what do you got positive to finish to wrap things up Star Wars wise?
Turds and punch bowls make me laugh.
It's pretty funny.
I mean, that was D-Doc has, once you said it, I have to keep bringing it up anytime we talk about it.
I gotta hop on the Photoshop and just make the cover photo of this episode when we share it just literally a turd in a punch bowl.
So positive is, here's the thing. I guess I have a low bar for everything. I want to be entertained. That's all I care about. If you entertain me, I'm good. Now, did Boba Fett entertain me? Yeah. Was it great? No. Did Obi-Wan entertain me? Yeah. Was it great? No. Did Mando season 3 entertain me? Yeah. Was it great? No. Yes. I just want to be entertained. Right? Like I don't care about depth of story. I don't care about connectedness. I don't care about. I don't know. I just want to be entertained. Just entertain me. If you entertain me and I watch you and I want to come back, I'll tell you right now. Resistance season 1 episode, all the way up until episode like the 3 or 4 at the end, where you start getting to where it matches up with Force Awakens. I was all in. I was entertained. I kept coming back. Bad Batch. I keep coming back. Yeah, Resistance. I know we talked about this the last time you guys were on. I'll watch things if you entertain me. I was entertained. So
I'm still baffled anybody could be entertained by Resistance, but okay.
It's fine. It's
positive
fine.
note. Scruffy, positive note.
Vorpex.
Cool. So anyway, I fear that all of the excitement for Ahsoka is going to turn to anger, letdown, trepidation, because they high expectations that are not being met. Because when expectations are not met, anger ensues. That is what happens. And I go in with low expectations. My expectation is entertain me. And that's it. So, like, everything that I've watched, I like the sequel trilogies because they entertained me. When I watched the prequel trilogies, they did not entertain me when I watched them. And I still have not been able to get over that. I mean, I like them, but they're on the bottom of my list. So I know I'm weird, but that's where I fall. And so, yeah. So that's the positive note. It's cool that we get all this stuff, because what else would we talk about? I'm sure we would find something to talk about.
That's true.
I feel like, like in sports, like you guys are sports fans. Anybody sports balls fans? Listen to sports talk radio.
I like sporting matches.
Yeah. So when you listen to sports talk radio, one of the things you can just say, especially in the Midwest, is Pete Rose. Just say the name Pete Rose and people talk for hours about it. I feel like you just say the word sequel trilogy in the Star Wars podcast and you can talk for hours about it. It's like the Pete Rose, like it's a slow news day. Okay, let's talk Star Wars sequel trilogy. Mm-hmm. I know it was connected, and I know that there was a reason for the conversation, but everyone is sitting in this world talking about it. I've gone for a long time, longer than I thought I was going to go here for my wrap up. Brown Leader, reach out to me. I got a couple of friends that can talk pretty good Star Wars Legion. We can talk about it. Heck, we could even play a game while we talk about it. Oh. I mean, I'm hitting my summer season, so I have a lot of free time.
Okay.
There you go.
We'll get something scheduled for sure.
Yeah, no worries. Reach out. Reach out to Joe. Joe's got my contacts, all that type of stuff. Other than that, I'll shut up. D-Doc, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, I personally, it's what it is. It's not that we're like hating on things. It's kind of fun to be negative about things sometimes and talk about what you don't like about something. It can be entertaining, honestly. And we were crapping on this Galactic Star Cruiser from before it even opened. We talked about it so much on this podcast
because it looks so bad.
I know, it was just automatic. We said it. We could go back in the archives on this podcast and all of us said like that thing is not going to last long at all.
Which is why I was wondering why it was a topic, but okay.
Yes. And I feel bad for the people who worked at it, because I've seen videos of them and a lot of it was put on them. They had to really put a lot of effort and energy into running that thing. That thing was put all on its employees. So I feel bad for them in that aspect, that I wish it worked out for them and it could have been better. Definitely sucks, because there's going to be jobs that people won't have anymore. So that does suck, but I'm always in for the next Star Wars thing. As much as we criticize it, I absolutely love it. I look forward to every single new thing that comes out, and I look forward to talking Star Wars with all of you guys at the ICCC convention. So, it's fun to criticize things. It's also fun to love them. And, you know, I have high hopes for Ahsoka. I don't think it's going to be bad. I think that Dave Filoni put 110% of his attention into Ahsoka. And I think that's maybe why he maybe was not as involved in Mando season 3, in my opinion. We'll see if I'm wrong about that when we watch a little archives thing, which they probably won't ever show that on there. But, yeah, I'm feeling good about Star Wars, even though sometimes we talk about how we feel bad about certain things with it. So, ending on that note, we're going to stay positive, and we're going to be all flying or driving to Nashville. Some of us in hyperspeed with Scruffy, it sounds like, and we're all going to have a really good time. And I can't wait to meet all you guys. So, that'll wrap. What is this? 206, Brent?
I have no idea.
206.
I don't. Why keep counting anymore? We're at a number that's high. It's too
I think
much.
you told me last week it was 205. That's why I'm
but
like,
then
Brent,
he did
I'm
another.
like, Brent
He
knows
did
the
another one,
chapters.
but he did
Yeah.
another little mini one with
He did.
Ryfin. So you never
With
know.
Ryfin,
He's
yep.
throwing numbers out the window. Messes with the accounting.
We're running a tight program here. So, yeah, we'll call it chapter 207 then. This wraps up chapter 207. It was great having you guys on here, Hyperspace Heroes. Check them out. And we appreciate that you guys will be releasing this on your podcast as well. So check out Rule Galaxy as well, guys. And until the next time, may the Force be with you.